Yo, testing 1 2 1 2. I can't really see what's going on there in the chat, but no, everybody be making their way over from Hood Conservatives channel. I see Freeze on there. Hey, Freeze on, if you could drop the link. I think Kid is to this stream, continuation stream, um, over there in Hood's channel, and I'm gonna just speak soliloquy for about 5 10 minutes, and then we can just pick up right where we left off. But we're gonna like uh, bounce the conversation over a little bit and go from there. So yeah, everybody in here now, like Shadow Band is strong, so you gotta like drop the link over in Hood's chat and tell everybody to come over here. The continuation of the conversation will take place over here. So, and shout out to TVA as I pass through Kennesaw, Georgia. But yeah, everybody go over there, drop that link, and let me see. I'll put this in the chat now while I can. All right, so link is in the chat, everybody, and we'll fire this up in a second here. Hey, kid, do you have the comms right now?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay, okay, yeah. As long as you can control everything, I'm driving, going through Kennesaw, Georgia. Shout out to TVA.
Yeah.
Okay, you drop the link over there in Hood's channel. Let everybody know the follow ups over here.
Ah, shit. Is he still going?
I think so, man. I can't. I don't even know,
I
but you
just
got
cut
to
him off.
just. What's that? Yeah,
I think
in
he's
his
getting ready to
YouTube
end.
stream.
I think
No,
he's getting
drop
ready
the.
to end.
No, I was gonna say, can you drop
Yeah,
the
I'm doing.
YouTube link in
I'm
his
just,
chat to let everybody come over to the follow up?
yeah, I'm trying to do it right now. Assuming that he hasn't ended it. Yeah, I'm trying to do it now.
Okay, you got it. I'll be right back.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah, he's still live. All right, go ahead and send the link. Come on, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. All right. I ain't got a wrench put on. I ain't got a type. Hold on, y'all. Trey, be right back. I don't want to start yapping off at the mouth before he starts talking because he might go in a different direction. But I got a lot to say about what we talked about just before. All right. Trey, follow up. I think Free Zone got me. Oh, can I not? Yeah, there you go. All right. All right. I don't got a type. All right, here you go. What's good, Free Zone? Yeah, don't lose your job, survival. Don't lose your job, bro.
You. Yeah, everybody share the stream out. And fun stream over there at Hood Stream. Fun stream, definitely.
Were you actually heated, or that was
No, that's
just the
character,
act?
man. Everybody wants the NBD till the NBD comes out. Like, hey, like that one song, "We Want Easy, We Want Easy."
Nah, you don't.
Trade
Yeah, I don't. I
NBD.
don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know. I know where it's coming from. Go ahead.
nah, trade NBD, man. It's fun, man. Firing up at times. Just letting it rip like my old self. Yeah, it's all an act, man. It's the character, man.
Yeah.
Just like Jordan Peterson plays a
Right.
character, Andrew Tate plays a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NBD side of it, nah, man. Over here, you got
I
Trey
don't.
right
I
now.
don't. I don't. I understand where they're coming from when it comes to that, but that comes to that topic. But I just don't understand how they can't see, like, when you just look at just forget other religions, militaries, other countries. Just look here. Like, we wouldn't be having the social war, the culture war that we're having if people shared the same morals. We clearly don't,
Yeah, that's why it worked. Japan just works because of that reason. The homogeneity of
because they're
Japan.
homogenous and everybody believes the same thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it works, man. The murder rate is zero, practically in Japan, compared to like
Violent
U.S.
crime, I think
basically.
the violent crime rate in general is like 3%. I actually looked that
Yeah,
stat up. The violent
yeah.
crime rate in Japan with the Yakuza, only 3%.
When I lived there, bro, 6 months, one murder in 6 months. The time I was there, and like the
Yeah.
entire country shut down because some Japanese pook freaking killed a 7-year-old girl. The entire
Yeah.
country shut down. But I just
And
want to.
they don't play around. They have a 99.5% conviction rate. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But
Right.
what I was gonna get into, man, is man, what's the name of this stream? I forgot, man. It's like can you take a peek? I know what I was gonna talk about, but I
The
forgot
men
what I
you will
named it.
need the men you will need when the lights go out. I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's the one.
Yeah, so I'll just talk about this before and the screen and the link is there if anybody want to jump up, continue this. But we were speaking on Andrew Tate, Jordan Lee Peterson, more leaning towards Andrew Tate over here on
Go ahead,
this.
B.
The message in saying that when the barbarians are at the gate, when the Chinese paratroopers are jumping into what outside of D.C. and PG County, or when they fire up the harp and the weather goes to shit. Like power's out. What else? There's no running water. When the animals are loose on the street, and I'm not talking about the four-legged kind. You will turn to men like Tate at that moment. Jordan Lee Peterson, cool. But at that moment, the only way to fight the beast is with a bigger beast. When, at that point, and Coach Greg Adams spoke on this, y'all feminists out there that are saying, oh, I got me a gun to protect myself, that little pea shooter ain't going to do shit when the lights go out. When there's hordes of ravenous psychos running around on the street looking to plunder, pillage, and that other word, the only type of men you're going to be looking for are the Tate types. You're going to be looking for men that, as you saw by the thumbnail, that are willing to get up in the morning, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, go out there and work for what? To bust their ass at that time in the pouring down rain, drizzling rain, snow. I've been through it all on this trip. To come home to a woman that, cooks freaking tater tots in the microwave, doesn't want to bust it wide open, wears tights and watches The View. But these men, some listening to Tate, some listening to JLP, they do it day in and day out because they know they're on a mission. They know that they are the backbone of America. I don't give a fuck what these feminists say, what the left says, what the community says. The men who I watched from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock this morning out there getting it. The men who went down to Florida, the cable guys, the electricians like Survival, when the power went out. Those are the men you're going to turn to when the lights go out. You can hoopity holler, hippity holler, Tate's this, Tate's that, blah, 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 blah. But when the lights go out, who do you want, Tate or JLP? Tate or Peterson? That's all I got on that. Short soliloquy. Kid, man, what up, bro?
Yeah, man. And him and his brother actually talked about that when they had that dude from Vice in the house, and they were talking about, like, in war, how would you go about winning a war? And of course, classic liberal answer, I wouldn't want to break any accords, and I wanted to break the Geneva Convention. But he says, okay, but all you're gonna do is get your people killed.
Man, they're the first ones to do it.
You're gonna lose, and your people are gonna.
The liberals say that, but they'll be the first one to break the Geneva Convention.
Exactly. And it goes back to the whole subjective morality. Like what is, when it comes to war and winning and protecting your family and your country, what line is too much? What line do we not cross? There are lines, obviously, but it's like, if I'm talking about protecting my family, right? My daughter, my sister, my mother, bro, for some men like us, hey man, there ain't no line.
Yeah.
All that morality goes out the window when it's your turn, when it's you, and it's just survival or bust. All that goes out the window, bro.
Houston Taco Shop,
That's why I
bro.
don't understand this argument. This argument, bro. What's that? And the irony in it. Hood plays this clip all the time. The Joker. These people, morality. It's a bad joke. The Joker, when he's talking about when the lights go out, they'll turn into animals. All the morals go out the window when the lights go out and ain't no food, no water.
And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, who will they turn to? Like that one song, was it In Vogue or somebody? Who will you run to when you need protection?
Free zone. We've actually seen examples of this in real time.
Can you pull it up? Can you read the comment? Hey, pull up Free Zone and read it.
I knocked it down. It said, if morality goes out the window, hold on, because it's like delayed, then it is no longer an argument of reality. Well, let's look at the Floydian riots. All morality went out the window, and people just riding, shooting, stealing, looting. Am I wrong? We just saw that happen.
One side. Yeah, one side. That
wasn't war at all. Huh?
Yeah, one side. Morality, the Floydian summer, completely out the window for one side.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, all the morals went out the window. But if we have Erection Day, oh well, that's immoral. They shouldn't be doing that. So I'm right there. Hey, you had two arguments for the same action. That's Free Zone.
Okay. You can bring him up.
My bad, man. I had a typo there. I meant to say,
when Erection Day happened, the same people who were out there during the Floridian riots were saying that the people who did what they did at Erection Day need to go to jail. And this was a something horrible against the Constitution and democracy, and how did they do this? They're evil. Am I lying? What happened to that? What happened to morals out the window? All of a sudden,
I meant to say that, because you're creating a situation where morality is not a case, like war, chaos, these types of things. So what I was saying was, I actually made a typo. If morality goes out the window in those cases, then it's no longer an argument of morality.
And then comes back to the argument, or not the argument, the discussion of yesterday. Who do you call? Do you call Justin Lee Peter, Jesse Lee? You call Jordan Peterson, or do you call Andrew Tate?
Hey, you might call Jesse Lee, man. I don't know that Freudian
Jesse
slip,
Lee,
but you
yeah,
might you might
yeah.
call Jesse Lee to get busy.
Jordan B. Peterson. Y'all irking me with that. It's Jordan B. Peterson.
Yeah. Yeah, if they call Jesse Lee, man, I think I don't know, man. Shit's gonna get up. He might just drop the J dam on the whole thing. But yeah. Hey, can you read Hood's? Can you read Hood's comment?
I said he said the morals didn't just disappear. People simply stopped caring. Not the same thing. But my argument was, and I hear what you're saying, Free Zone. These are situations where it's chaos. It's not within the confines of a civilized society. But those riots happen within the confines of a civilized society. They were just chaotic events. But what I'm arguing was the same people who thought it was okay to stores were going out against the people who did Election Day.
But when it comes to that, and you know what David says, no, that's me. I got my seatbelt off. But excuse the beeping. But when he says, in that case, with regards to morals, I'm along the mindset of SKC at that point. That those people that choose to do that, they never had any morals to begin with. As when SKC spoke of FD signifier and why the community never speaks on morals, because they don't have any. None.
What is FD signifier? I don't know what that is.
He's a Super Mago content creator. He's a Super Mago content creator. Black woman is God. We was victims. Bree, Jacob Blake. Oh, they're our saviors. One of them types.
Right, yeah, okay. His panel is going to be all Black women and Alphabet Group.
Does anybody? I know this is a side note. I have a quick question. Y'all know who Rizza Islam is, and if you do, what are your thoughts on him?
I know who he is. I just don't follow him.
I know one.
I've only seen like one or two videos of him. I don't really have an opinion on him. Yeah. Really like that. What did he say?
His clips. He said something. So he is along the lines of the woke kind of the pro-black narrative, but he does it with common sense. Like, so he had a point where he'll do like America's racist, blah blah blah, white people, but then he'll say something that actually makes sense. Like when he was talking about Brittany Griner, he said, "I'm glad she's home, but why are they letting this dude? Why did America make that trade? That doesn't make that's nonsense.
Well,
they're pandering. They make it seem like they care about black. Like he'll say,
and Rizza Islam, and then he'll hold on, kid. Is Rizza Islam? Yeah, is he community minded?
Yeah, but he'll say
like
from time to
morals,
time, he'll say
no morals, bro.
Sense.
No morals, bro. Negroes in Negro land, man. That's the only definition. There is no explanation for it. But Deacon Dave, man, I'm like, look, I got stuck in traffic real quick around the ATL. Shout out to Clue, man. I'm over in 285. But when men ignore morality, chaos ensues. Women that believe in abhortion abandon morality, and it has been normalized. This is part of what I was saying over on David's, and it goes along with my stream. When men choose morality, they are basing they're rolling the dice and they're betting everything on black or red, whichever side. These men base everything on traditionalism. They're gonna bet it all for what? I'm gonna have a good country. The man to my left and right, my neighbors, they're gonna be good people. And when I come home, my wife is gonna be a good, virtuous woman, and we're gonna do this day in and day out. That starts in the human realm. That starts with man. If man lets go of his morality, the woman shall follow. So when you take places with feminism, the community, the alphabets, when women are in charge, who is there to set the moral standard? Who is there to define virtues? Fellas?
And I have an argument. I have an argument against the some of these people didn't have. Now, I agree. There are some people who didn't have morals, but there are people who people would consider moral people who hold some of these views. They're not communitized. They're not communitized minded. They're white liberals, and they're not all white liberals are the same. But they're the evangelical types. They have morals. They do. They believe in egalitarianism and feminism. They truly believe that is good. I've heard these conversations when I used to be in the MGTOW sphere, when they would have these arguments, when TFM would say, we need to take a large part of why this is happening. We got to take some of these rights. The voting ain't going well, and obviously it wasn't feasible, and people didn't listen to him. But he was making a case why the 19 needs to be repealed, and they would all come and say, "No, this is a moral standard we have to stand by." And if we have to get rid of like egalitarianism, feminism, all of this, then the West needs to die. I've heard people say this. That's what they truly believe. That's their morals.
Well,
but I don't hold those morals. I don't hold those
you
values.
got it, Free. What's your thoughts on that, Free Zone?
Give me a second. I'll be back.
Okay. Hey, you can drop the link again too, kid. If anybody else wants to come up, any detractors, anybody, argue the other side.
Yeah, I got you.
Man. So we've gotten to the point, and as I said, the men who get up, who you can depend on, they've gotten so comfortable that they've accepted their reality of, you know what, my woman's working too. I guess we just got to eat tater tots. Well, maybe on my birthday, she'll bust it wide open. I understand how busy she is taking care of the kids. Yeah, I guess, church, the pastor said now we're equal under the eyes of God now. I guess, I'll just go with that. I'm just going to get up every day and keep doing what I've been doing for 20 years, providing for this woman and that kids. And next thing you know, that chick is out there fucking her trainer or the young deacon at church. No shots, Deacon Dave. But this is what's happening out there. And these men that we depend on in society, they're zeroing out. They're checking out. They're like, man, fuck this shit. Those are the ones with morals, and they're leaving. Yeah. And what fills their vacuum? But who's on the panel now?
Ragnarok.
What's going on, Ragnarok?
Not much. I had a couple disagreements.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, whoa, not with shit. You per se.
Go ahead, bro. You got it.
A lot of people were saying morality is not subjective, and people who think so are just bad and trying to justify something. I tell them no. Morality is in the eye of the beholder, just like beauty. Like I said, like some religions will think human sacrifice is okay, but then other religions would be like, that's evil.
I bought that
given the Aztecs and the Spanish, right? Like they both thought they were the good guys. People forget this. It's like there is no good and evil. It's a freaking cartoonish lie. Is it evil that like bad people do bad things to the innocent? Well, no shit. But in some twisted culture that's underground, like some cult, they might think that's okay. And like people need to understand when it comes to morality, man, it's convoluted.
Yeah, and it's sad, Ragnarok, that that's where we've hold on real quick, kid. It's sad that that's where we've got to in our society. It really is, man, because regardless of our differences here on this panel and even on the previous panel, we'd love to go back to one set standard. We'd love to do it between the 8 of us who have been in this conversation and be like, all right, cool, we're all of the same mindset minus our minor disagreements. But we're so far away from that now, man, that I don't know, man. My fear is that we'll never get it back without bloodshed. But go ahead, kid.
Alice is in the back. Want me to put her on? Alice is in the back.
Yeah.
You want to just be,
you know the rules, Alice. You know the rules.
All right.
Yeah, you can bring her up.
Best Sunday behavior.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. So if the men are gone, we're not gonna have any more lights, Trey.
You were broken up, Alice. Say it again.
I said if the men are gone, then we won't have any lights anymore. Because women don't like messing with electricity.
Or plumbing. Or plumbing, for that matter.
Oh, yeah, man. You want
They don't want to get on their
Plumbing.
knees and set up a toilet and a bathtub and go do the piping all the way to the main.
Our houses will be made great again. What are you talking about?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, Alice,
I was watching.
because there are outliers out there like you, Alice, that can do that kind of stuff. But if men went away, you know, the Last Man on Earth, that TV show, what women are going to step up and fill those roles? And here's another caveat to that: women don't like each other. They just don't.
Very
Chivalry
true.
is a concept amongst men. I know I had somebody argue that with me. Kid, if you could, I don't know if you can find the original definition of chivalry, but it has nothing to do with women.
And what's weird, people have this view
Wasn't
of
it something
chivalry.
that Knights in the Battlefield? Wasn't it something that the Knights in the Battlefield use as a kind of like as a code on the battlefield?
Yes,
Yeah, you got it,
yes,
Ragnarok.
they did, but they would only use codes of honor and chivalry between the men if they were another knight. If it was like some peasant with a stick going up against the knight, and that's gonna be like, man, fuck you, I'm gonna curb stomp you. Like, and if you thought it's like save the princess from the evil
the
king,
Japanese, the samurai.
yeah, the samurai on samurai combat, they'll be very honorable against each other. You know, like my clan versus your clan. But when it's like some peasant coming around, some farmer pissing them off, it's like, no, man, I'm chopping you up. I don't care. It's like chivalry and honor was reserved for somebody seen as your equal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Like, matter of fact, in Japanese culture, if you looked at the samurai the wrong way, they could kill you. They could use you as target practice. Just by
we need Sigmund Jones. That class. Yeah, we need Sigmund Jones for this one. But
they actually tested katanas, newly made katanas, by lining up 3 Japanese peasants and cutting them with one swing.
Man, it sounds like the homie tribe.
I found a definition, Trey. I found a definition.
Okay.
It says, for it. The combination of qualities expected of an ideal knight, especially courage, honor, courtesy, justice, and a readiness to help the weak. Knighthood.
Okay, now I'll play the role of SKC. Where in the dictionary, Trey, does it say anything about women and chivalry and love? Nah, but I know it wasn't SKC. I'm just trolling SKC. But there was a dude in the chat going ham, man, when I said chivalry has nothing to do with women, and that shows you what I was saying: the cucking of modern Western society. Men are so thirsty for a little bit of snatch that no, chivalry means protect all women. Let her talk.
The funny thing is about chivalry and those codes of honor, protecting the weak was protecting your peasants. Because peasants were the main food source, the workforce. Knights will protect their peasants on their patch. This is why knights from a different patch would come around and specifically target the peasants. No grain for you. ain't no knight getting in the farm field.
Well, let me ask you something about this. Okay, I was arguing with one of those leftists on Twitter, right? What I'm finding is they're like the reason we're at where we're at. Okay, the guy said that. What did he say? He said that liberty is a complex concept, right? Which it's kind of strange to put it like that. Now, happiness is complex because everybody else has a different idea of actual happiness, right? But what I'm finding is the way they've been attacking the Constitution here and trying to justify it, because the person was like, well, it's a complex situation when we were talking about abortion, right? So he tried to justify individual rights, saying it was a complex situation with the liberty for individual rights, but then he infringes on the future citizen, right? Which is
Alice,
the baby and the boom. So what
and that's why
that in turn makes it complicated. That makes it complicated. Because at what point does your liberty infringe upon somebody else's rights? That's where I think that's what he was getting at. Like, at what point, where is the line where I'm just acting freely and living in my best interest, but I'm not also infringing on somebody else's rights.
Well, I had to explain to him
that's
murder is not legal, and he excluded the first word, life and liberty. Okay.
Well, Alice, that's just a clump of cells.
Yeah, to him it is.
Yeah,
and he was telling me to trust the science, so I gave him a video on how the sperm meets the egg, and I was like, well, he kind of tried to say I was trying to use religion. I said, no, you tell me trust the science, so here's the science. But then when you throw that back at them, they start talking some babble crap.
I'd like to comment to this. Kid, you're going to understand this very well since we're both very libertarian minded.
You talking about Bradley's on the screen?
Yeah, Bradley's
if you could real quick. Hey, Alice, can you read the comment? We need a woman's voice. Hold on, Alice. We need you to read it in your feminine voice, Alice. Come on now. You got a thirst trap.
All I'm saying is the women ended up needing to ask the men for fire, water, and food. They even used their drinking water to wash their hair. They complained when men stopped sharing.
So, kid, you're gonna understand this.
All right then.
Before we segue too far, like staying on the abortion thing for 1 second, kid, you're gonna love this. It's a meme amongst libertarians. Not all libertarians agree on pro-life or pro-choice. In fact, it's pretty split. You'll have the libertarian side that's pro-life be like, you're violating the non-aggression rule. And then you'll have the side that says, well, you're violating their liberty of freedom of choice. It's like, it's a clusterfuck.
Right.
It's a word salad is what I'm finding. Like they build a word and build
liberalism is a disease.
Well, I have you said that morality is subjectable, or what did you say?
In my view, morality is subjective because one culture, for example, the Aztecs thought cannibalism and human sacrifice was okay. The Spanish
hey, Ragnarok,
abhorrent.
Can the Dahomey get some love on that too, man?
The Dahomey thought selling black slaves was okay, but then the Christians...
No. I'm talking about the cannibalism, man. Can the Dahomey... There ain't no black chickens back then. They was eating each other. They didn't care. It was like, ooh, meat.
Yeah, no, they really did look at it that way. In fact, there's old writings that when the Dahomey were selling their, conquered slaves, they literally thought the white men were picking up, because they committed cannibalism themselves, they thought the white men buying their slaves were buying them as cattle to eat. They literally thought this. They wrote this down. Like the ones who actually learned how to write.
hey, Ragnarok, you're not forgetting, man, our symposiums on Negro and Negro land. Our readings of the good book. That's the good book, SKC. Negroes and Negro land is the real good book.
Well, if it's subjectable, Ragnarok, let me ask you a question. If there's no structure, it's pure chaos, right?
No, hear me out. It's subjective because of the doctrines of different cultures. They view it differently.
Right.
Yeah, but
so every culture has a different structure.
Yeah, but
and that morality,
every structure, they're trying to destroy it and dismantle it.
So look, morality is not nature;
you're
it's nurture. You're taught morality.
Saying that because she's lived in America most of her life and she's a Christian, but other people who have been never taught these things and never been raised to believe these things, that's not their way. That's not their code.
It's a different download.
That's why I said what I said in the last thing, that it's arrogant to think that people. You're talking about people who were never raised to believe these things. We were. They weren't. So in their eyes, what they do is right. But
I'll tell you,
but that's not how they see it.
I'll tell you this about American exceptionalism. It's been bastardized because the lizards took it over. But if we go back to Europeans going to the Dahomey, going to the Aztecs, going to all these cargo cults and civilizing them, my question: are they better off now or when they were eating each other?
The white man did good.
It's not just the white man, bro. You had all different shades, man. As I brought up that Tower of Babel for a reason. This color shit didn't exist back then. I mean, you'd have a boatload of different shades of melanin, Moors, freaking Catholics, Vikings that all came together and just by happenstance get on a boat and sail for the New World and take their newly found their values they're living upon to these freaking daggone savages.
Well, yeah, it's like the advent of the pirate culture of the 1700s. You had Moors, you had Muslim pirates, you had Christian pirates. You literally also did have Scandinavian pirates, but they all worked by the pirate code. And yes, there was a pirate code. Like Nassau, that pirate republic was very real. Everybody, it was democratically elected, but it was also an anarchy system. But you're not supposed to be a thief. You're not supposed to do this. But
hold on.
I'll finish here. Their system was so abhorrent to the British and the imperial powers. Their morality was different because they would raid anybody, but the British, their privateers would only raid the French or the Spanish and opposites.
Yeah, I just want to bring you back, Ragnarok. If you can go there as far as as where his kid was going, and I said, the morality of any cargo cult culture, when they were savages before the Europeans, showed up, before the Tartarians showed up. Are we really going to sit here and say that the Dahomey didn't believe it was their morals to eat each other, to sacrifice, all right, king died, let's sacrifice 26 of his slaves with him and bury him with him.
Yeah.
But no,
well, look at I'll give an example real quick, and then it's you,
okay.
Alice.
Okay.
Like you guys seen the show Vikings, right? Look, it's not a secret. Viking cultures in the past did do human sacrifice, but it was voluntary. If you look at a TV show, there's a specific episode that priest who was enslaved by Ragnar, but set free. They go there, and he was going to offer him as a sacrifice, but he had to do it voluntarily. And he's like, "No, I don't want to do this. It's not right. It's not in God's name." And this other Viking Chad guy's like, "I'll do it. I volunteer." And he was just fucking terrified.
And I want to bring Freeze on. You back, bro?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Yeah, I just want waiting for you to jump back in on this. That part right there. That I don't know. You weren't up there yet. That huge argument, beef, fun beef over here on this side between SKC, David and Kid about the selective morality based on. You've been outside the U.S. You were lived in Japan, military. What's your thoughts on that? Seeing someone has seen other cultures.
As seeing different cultures, like I said on the previous stream, you will know them by the fruit that they produce. Living in Japan, from a moral standpoint, the morality is much different, but it's much higher than it would be here. There's not a lot of subjective morality there. Now, I will say this. I think from a societal standpoint, it's better for a group, even if certain morals are wrong, it's better that a group of people are unified on what's right and what's wrong than not. Even if they're unified under things that are morally wrong. It's better if a society at least is all on the same train of thought.
You're talking
in
about
regards to.
You're literally talking about a social contract.
Hold on, Ragnarok. Hold up. Good, keep going, Frieza.
Yeah,
Can you go into the consequences of those morals? What you were saying?
Well, y'all were going through a lot of different scenarios, but I was mainly talking about a civil society. So, for example, my argument was that if morality is subjective, then you can justify doing even the most egregious things under that you're literally creating anarchy if morality is subjective. Now I guess my question would be real quick. My question would be from a societal standpoint maybe there's a percentage, right? What percentage from a societal standpoint should the subjective morality compare to the objective morality? Because there still has to be something objectively moral that we all stand on.
I think it has to do with social contracts. It really does.
Well,
Because like we live under a
Well,
social
all I was
contract
saying
system. We
was,
shouldn't steal from each other. We shouldn't kill each other. And like everybody agrees upon that. That's a social contract, and then that becomes a moral.
Right, right. But if you have half a society that
what I
doesn't agree with
was
that,
arguing is you're
go ahead,
assuming
kid.
that they think that they have to justify what they're doing. If let's just use, and I know this is not recent, but let's just use Viking culture. It was widely accepted that warring, pillaging, raping, even amongst the other clans, that was not something that was immoral.
No, they won't raid each other.
And glorious death and going to Valhalla, that's what they live for. Going
they
to
wouldn't
Valhalla
raid each other. They would
fighting
raid others.
Okay, let's not argue, you know, semantics of it, because none of us were there. We're just talking about the moral aspect.
Fighting and dying on a battlefield, that was something that they lived for. They didn't have to justify in their mind to do it. That's what they lived to do. That was what was right.
Valhalla.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're assuming that they have to justify these things because you're assuming that they think it's wrong. They don't.
No, I wasn't assuming that. No, I was looking at looking at it from the fruit that it bears. Like if I look at you take like for example, like when Tate talks about the difference between living in London, where you can't have something nice because somebody will stab you, and living in Dubai, where you can basically leave cars and doors and stuff unopened and not have to worry about it.
But they also have they have a slave system though. They have a slave system though. So
yeah, they do.
I mean,
they have a what?
Dubai is doing well, but they have an underpinning.
Yeah, Dubai has an entire slave class.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
I mean, like, see what I'm saying? See how it's muddy?
No. I mean,
they have a slave system in Dubai.
Well, no society is going to be 100% moral. I don't think anybody's making that argument.
That's true.
Well, let me
like
ask
you're just
go
ahead.
Free zone. When you were in Japan, there was one thing that's a lot stronger over there that we have allowed because we're a melting pot, right? Their traditions stay intact because they don't allow people to come there and alter their traditions. You have to be respectful and respect their culture, right? You can't just go over there and just change things. You have to be respectful. Do you see more respect in their like towards their culture there than here?
Well, fuck yes.
Okay, that's the problem here. The people that set up America, they allowed let people come in, and we already had set rules because the Constitution. But when we let a lot people come in here, they came in to change those rules, and we allowed it to happen. That's why we're seeing that the big rainbow thing going on, because people have come in here and said there is a subjective morality. Now, this country was based on moral standards that are implemented by the law of the land, which is the Constitution. Because we have allowed people to read the Constitution, not by the text, but with their feelings. That's why the women that got in the office and stuff, that's why women shouldn't be in leadership, because they use their emotions. That's why a lot of these criminals get off, because of these laws that have been implemented are bleeding heart laws, as they call them, where they let them out because a woman decided that she's like, she feels bad for the criminal. If you notice all these criminal laws that are getting dropped down to basically nothing, most of them
they want chaos. They're corrupt.
They're written by
Alice. Here's one thing people don't understand. People are like proud of America being a melting pot, this, that, and a third. If the founding fathers were resurrected right now, they would blast and shoot anybody who thought that was okay. I shit you not, they would revolt. They're not okay with that because they actually wanted a hegemon, not a multicultural society. They never planned for that. They never wanted that. If you read the original Constitution, the actual original one, women are not even supposed to be in office, like you name it. Like there's a lot of things that would change if they came back. People are like, America, land of the free for everybody. No, the only people who were even allowed to migrate to America were literally Europeans. They would not let anybody else in. Like,
let me make a point about subjective morality. Let's use the founding fathers. They wrote these manifestos, like, and like you said, they didn't want certain people immigrating here. They also owned slaves. Let's look at Benjamin Franklin. He had an apartment in England that they dug up, and they found a basement of like 15 bodies and 100 and something bones. He was a psychopath. So, I mean, so that's why when we have this conversation, it's so slippery. Andrew Tate talks about the issues that are happening in London. They have a lot of issues. They have a lot of issues with order and safety. But when you look at Dubai, yes, at the top of the society, on the top of the plate, shout out to my Final Fantasy VII fans, it's great. When you get down under the plate, it's not so great.
Well, that's because they have a hegemonic culture above everything else. In Japan, if you threaten their hegemony, you're fucking done.
There's a lot of Islam that I don't agree with, that we would consider immoral, but they do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I agree that it's subjective. This is too much.
Dude, like I tell people, the West does not care about its own hegemony anymore, and that's going to spell disaster. Goodbye, freedom. Because constitutionalism is a very Saxon Aryan thing. It just is. Other cultures didn't come up with constitutions. They don't want constitutions. They never kept constitutions. In fact, most Asian cultures and African cultures have a totalitarian concept in mind. They prefer it that way. They always did, and they always want to.
Well, I don't think it's the morality.
It can work. Dubai is 80% immigrant. It can work.
I don't think it's morality that is subjectable. I think it's perception of morality is subjectable. Like the way people look at things, okay? So morals have a standard, okay? That they're like a set rules, basically. Like you got rules. That's what morals are based on, these rules, and we keep these rules because of not just ourselves, but others. When you have morals, you're not just looking at yourself, you're looking at others. So I think what is the subjective part about it is perception, how people perceive these morals. Is it right or wrong to them? And because we got too many we got too many Indians trying to be chiefs and not letting the chief run the actual establishment. That's where we got the
quote, the actual quote is, "Too many chiefs, not enough warriors."
Well, what I'm saying is we got too many people trying to be the chief, like be the leader, and we're not letting one just lead. Okay,
well, that's the thing. Actually, Alice, did you see Survival's comments? You guys see Survival's comment about Canada?
Talking about once again.
So his comment actually rolls into that.
America.
I know. You could talk about any situation, kid.
But let me say this.
Look. Okay, go ahead.
Let me say this real quick. The reason why I have a problem with this conversation is because people are always going to talk about from the standpoint where they live in, the system, the paradigm that they exist in. Alice is talking about within the confines of a Judeo-Christian faith-based system in the United States for the most part. But when you move to a whole other country, culture, and system, things are prime example. Now, I'm not saying you have to agree with what I'm about to say or what they did. I'm just saying it happened. Look at what happened in the World Cup in Qatar, and where they don't rock with the LGBT, none of that. But people are coming there waving the flag, knowing that's not how things run here. Whole different set of morals and values, and
of course
that they were ignoring and disrespecting. Every system is different. There's different rules, guidelines, morals to every system, and to act like that's not the case.
It's different social contracts between different cultures.
Outside of where you live.
Well, no, what I'm saying is,
so hold up, Alice, hold up. I was going to say something. So Survival's comment about Canada and the assisted suicide thing. So as you were talking about too many chiefs, not enough Indians, right? Nobody voted on that. Nobody voted on making that okay, except the people in power who were paid and bought by lobbyists, just like they are in America. They're all paid by WEF, just like they are in America. It's not that different. So the issue is, you have a bureaucracy that does not care about the social contract of the average citizen. And this is another thing. This is happening in America too. When you have people like in California who are more Republican, pro-gun ownership, and then the Californian state wants to take away guns and shit. Like that's, they don't care, but the bureaucracy wants to do that. When you like, so
well, that's actually our So the
well,
states.
I know
right
your constitution is a nice layer of protection for the average citizen. But I'll tell you that right now, the Canadian one sucks.
Well, but you're talking about an issue of states' rights. If California wants to say we don't want guns here, they have a right to do that. So that's like just like Texas, they want guns. They want people to have guns. Texas can write those laws, but if California wants to not have guns, they have a right to not want guns. That's how the American system does work.
I know, but because Californians are also Americans and they're part of the Union, they have to respect the overarching Constitution. So they can't. So like the Constitution itself is federal. But the thing is, a state can't pass laws that violate the federal Constitution, which is, the Constitution.
Well, they do all the time, because look at California. They got how many gun laws? Okay, it infringes on
no. Well, the good thing about this, is more than half of America now has passed concealed carry permit laws. Like, you don't have to get the permit; you just can conceal carry.
You mean constitutional carry, which that is just
constitutional carry is even more than half.
Into it. They still got the red flag laws. It pisses me off.
Those just went away. They literally, Supreme Court just waved those away.
No. I started looking into it. Into it.
There's a recent Supreme Court case that literally just waved red flag laws away.
Hey, y'all getting away from the topic.
No, but the point I was trying to make about the moral thing, regardless of what your religious belief is, okay, there has been laws of the land. Okay, and no matter where you go, there is laws in the land. Okay, you go to an Islamic state or you go to a Muslim country, the only difference is we put people in jail. They cut your hand off. If you run, they cut your feet off.
For your head.
Okay.
Sure.
So it's just they don't matter what country you go to, you got laws. Just like that what was that basketball player went over to Russia? She thinking that she could just do whatever the hell she want. Russia even has law. It doesn't matter where we go. Every country has their law of the land. Ours is the Constitution here. But we have allowed people to get in certain areas, and they are trying to destroy these laws that were already implemented. Now, when people become citizens in America, they're supposed to, by law, adhere to the Constitution, just like these politicians. They're supposed to adhere to the Constitution, but what they do is, because they have this subjective way of thinking, like, oh, but this word means this what to me, blah blah blah. So that's how we've had the infiltration, because of the way people interpret things differently. They've used that to implement stuff that goes against the same laws that we have in place, like the red flag law.
You're kind of preaching to the choir here. We know that.
No, I'm just saying,
in every single country.
What I'm saying
is every Western country, they're doing that exactly what you're saying.
If the moral standard is subjective, right, then there is chaos, because of the fact is there's no structure. The moral is the structure, is what I'm saying. If we
you're essentially talking about a breakdown of the American or even the Western social contract because of those acts. Those
the Western
people seeing it that way. Yeah, like America is not just America. It's the whole West. Like the American Empire is a lot bigger than just America itself.
For example, I got another example. Let's talk about relationships. Over here, the standard, for the most part, is monogamy. But there are other countries where polygamy is not frowned upon. It's not immoral to want to have more wives or to have more wives. In fact, it's culturally accepted that a man will either have multiple wives or wives and a concubine. But in America, but in the West, that's frowned out. That's frowned upon.
It comes from Christian standard.
Let me throw one thing in there, kid, just to add on to that. In some of those countries, if your brother's wife dies, you are required to marry that wife and add her to your stable.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so like the Christian standard as opposed to like the Islamic standard or even the pagan standard or whatever religious standard, you'll see differences. You always will. Like me in Canada, polygamy is technically illegal, but nobody enforces it. We're not a fucking Catholic, pardon my French. We're not like a hardcore Catholic Protestant nation anymore. Like we're becoming very secular.
But it's
And I
still
got some disagreements with secularism, but like there's some things that are good. Like there's more freedom.
It's frowned upon. But my bad.
No, well, it is frowned upon. Like I could talk to some of my friends, and they realize I have multiple wives. They look at me funny, like I'm an alien. You know, and I'm like, okay, you're just not used to that.
Well, Survival said Hunter Biden's morals. Like, what do you think about that? Should we live by those?
I don't even want to talk about Hunter Biden, the Constitution, or any of that because we've had thousands of hours of conversation on that. America's not the center of the universe. Thank you. Like, I don't know how many times you're going to talk about that. It's like I'm totally down with you, go protect the Constitution, rock it all, America. But like, there's not much that can be done other than literally arresting the entire system because they're all on that list.
Right.
If they look, I don't want to go too deep into it, but if they arrested everybody on the client list, the entire world economy would collapse. That's why they're not doing it.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead.
That's a good morality question.
But
what is the moral of allowing the system to stand, even though they have it by the balls, or is it better to morally destroy it?
Hey, real quick. Hey, so much for coming up here, and thank you so much. But real quick. So Alice.
Okay.
Oh, you're Borging a bit.
You're Borging.
Y'all hear me now?
You kind of like sound like a.
No, you out of there.
You're a robot man.
I'm back.
It might be his signal. He's driving, ain't he?
Francesca, I don't let the government get in my bed.
If it's illegal, how are you legally married?
It's a spiritual marriage under my own religion.
He probably jumped the broom like they did back in the day.
Yeah, fuck him. I can go have my secret marriage in the forest with all my
another issue of morality.
Right. Is it moral to let the government? Is it moral to let the government be in your marriage?
No,
exactly. Fuck the government.
That's the problem because the state got involved with marriages. That's why we have a lot of issues we have. Back in the day, you just jumped a broom or you went by the church and you was married, like the Irish and stuff like that. But like the only benefit, like if you go on a legal standpoint, it's a tax write-off. A lot of people get married just to have tax write-offs. I know a man that married a woman just so he could get tax write-offs because he was making so much money.
I guess. Hey, you know what's funny? In my case, because I jumped the broom, as you say, I just had a spiritual wedding, not like a government documented one. Which means they can't take me to court and pretty much get all that alimony if they want a divorce. Like they can't do that to me. I'm like, yeah, that's right. I tell guys, if you want to get married, do it with a priest without the government even being involved. Don't even let them be involved. Just do what you want.
Yeah, it's a contract. It's a
hey Trey, real quick, Trey. Real quick, Trey.
He's not.
Could you have one of them hold it down? I gotta go away for a second. Hey, Ragnarok, can you hold this down? I have to go do something really quick.
All right, I'll make sure to keep it so.
I'll be back, but I can't stay. I gotta.
Well, I'll sit up here with Ragnarok so he's not by himself.
We'll keep the topic. Yeah. We'll keep the topic to morality till Trey comes back or you come back.
Okay.
So let's talk about examples. Let's talk about examples of conflicting morality. Like one culture against another culture where they both see what they're doing as immoral, but both think they're moral.
Taxes, man.
Man, you always talk about Constitution taxes.
No, I'm talking about taxes. Tell me that taxes are moral, okay? I want to hear your idea on why taxes
you
are
want to
moral.
hear? You want to hear my thoughts on that? Taxation is theft.
Yeah, so how is it moral? Taxation without representation, right? So how, like, I don't get this idea. You know, it'd be
Look,
easy.
I'd be okay with taxation if regular old Joe people had a say on like bills that get passed, because then we'd have a say on where our money goes. Like, there's actually a country in the Baltics, I think it's Latvia. It's one of the three, maybe Estonia. You can actually track where your tax money goes and choose where it goes. Yeah. The government can't just give me money. Like, like you can actually see it in their program.
It'd be nice if they did like an open vote on all these bills, but our system, like, we don't even know who's voting anymore.
Yeah.
My great grandfather voted. Y'all didn't know? In 2020, he voted.
Well, like, see, that's the thing. That's how they do it in the Baltics, because they're a much smaller country. They have open votes on many different policies. Like, say you paid your taxes in your Latvia, right? I'm not sure if it's Latvia. It's one of the three Baltic states. It's Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia. It's one of those three where they have this program. Say you paid your $5,000 out of your salary. Like, this is your yearly. Like, let's round it up to that. You can choose if your $5,000 goes to the medical system, goes to the military, goes to whichever thing you want. You can literally track your taxation, what you got taxed, and choose where to put it. And because in the Baltic states, they actually are very careful and precious about their government, because they were under a communist dictatorship for a long time. So they actually take their democracy and their taxation system seriously. Like, oh yeah, I'll put 100 towards streets, I'll put 100 towards medical, I'll put 100 towards this, 100 towards education. Like, you pick and divvy up where your taxes go.
Yeah, but then you end up broke because everything's going to everything else.
No. They're very careful. The people, them as taxpayers are very careful. They vote to put their taxes and certain things together to make sure things run smooth.
Yeah, but
and we're talking about a country less than 10 million people here.
Okay, I'd have to look more into that. So you're saying like they're like communist based, basically?
No, they used to be communists, which is why they're that's why they love their democracy and their systems and pay very close attention, more than most people. If you didn't have freedom for like 70 years, yeah, I think you'd care a lot more.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Americans have got complacent. They've got comfortable and they haven't been paying attention.
I would say most of the West has. We haven't had tyranny, dictatorship, or any serious war since like Vietnam. But that was like just America. Like the whole West as a whole, World War II.
Well, the last 3 years, really, we got a taste of it because they were forcing stuff on people. So it's like, I think a lot of people have woke up to the realization that the government will at the name of safety overreach and become authoritarian.
Well, there's a reason so many Canadians joined in. Do you know why the Canadians are protesting so much with the truckers? It wasn't just, the thing, the syringe thing. It was also because in Canada, if you declare it the Emergency Act, the Charter of Rights, which is like our Constitution, is hung. Literally, there's a loophole. Well, no. You guys, anybody who like did those laws, they actually violated the Constitution on so many levels. Here, you can't just remove the Constitution.
They had put bills in because I was looking at like they have the.
Look, if any state or place in the states that passes a bill over health, to violate the Constitution? Because you can't just pause the Constitution in America. In Canada, you can. That's the
Well,
big
when they
difference.
put us under emergency, like the state of emergency, that did violate our constitutional rights and made null
Yep.
and void. But the people,
Oh, you guys should line up and sue them.
the people buck because we know the doctrine, okay? They can't, like, they were trying to be slick about it and try to use force on the American people. But the spirit of freedom is strong regardless of what in America, because we have been taught that we're free, except for these ones that's in this victimhood mentality.
Oh,
And
they
there is
think
a
they're
lot
free.
of it.
They're free to have that victimhood mentality. To be honest, I like the comedy
Yeah,
out of them.
that's their freedom. So they're freely being slaves to them their own thinking.
Nope.
Yeah.
They can be so. That's why like I really like the Moot Hood SKC and the others reached on the follow up stream yesterday, because like it was fully proven, like we don't need to be extreme against these people. They're rotting already. Like they're done.
Well, I just see the only way to combat all this stuff is just reject it and tell them no, and just stand strong in your convictions of no.
So
Because
sticking on morality, because we keep slipping into politics, and I honestly don't like that, because I
that's
really
not
like talking about
politics.
philosophy. We are talking about politics technically right now.
Freedom's political.
Freedom is political,
Why
definitely.
is it
We talked
political?
about taxation. We talked about this, that, and the third. We talked about the victimhood types. That's pretty much the lefties. So my point is, like, so because I know you like talking about politics so much, and I do too, I just want to be more philosophical today,
Okay.
because I find conversations flow better. Is it so the morality of even having a system like left and right, is that moral to even have a two-party system? So let's mix some politics with philosophy, but we're underpinning under philosophy. Let's not get too lost in the minutia. So is it okay that a country tears itself apart? You know what I mean?
I think the two-party system is to keep people open to conversations. Okay? Because if we go to a one-party system, we're just like any other dictatorship, but there's one party running everything.
It
Then
wouldn't be a
it's
one party.
authoritarian.
It actually wouldn't be a one party system. See, America originally, because I love fucking history and I love America. In the beginning, it wasn't parties. It was
No.
individuals who talked about policy issues and specific issues. It wasn't, oh, vote for Washington or vote for Benjamin because this, that, and the third. He's a rhino. He's a whatever, the donkey. No, screw that. They were talking about, okay, we have certain issues here, here, here. And the other guy would argue, well, these issues over here are more pressing. They weren't being partisan. You know what I mean? So that's a system of original republicanism where it's individuals, not parties. Individuals bringing up issues. And like this, you actually could tackle more issues. With the two-party system, you have half of the issues being completely ignored.
Yeah, because that's the Constitution actually protects individual rights, individual liberties. And see, the reason I think they did the party system was to make us tribal in a sense.
Well, of course.
So that's why they have the different parties.
That's why I advocate for an American originalist political system. It's individualist politicians, not this, that, and the third, like not left or right, not libertarian or authoritarian, just straight up individuals.
Yeah, because when they don't say we're a constitutional republic and they say we're a democracy, they're saying that they have more power than us. Okay, when we're a we're a constitutional federal republic. Okay, when they exclude the fact that
you're not even a federal republic.
That's what it says on the actual things. Okay,
you're a constitutional republic.
Yes. But when
It doesn't say
they
federal in
start
between.
using democracy as we are democracy, that gives the politician more power over the people. When you're a republic, they have to adhere
So
to us.
I can actually explain to you exactly, like, and I'll quote Tim Pool, even though I'm not a big fan of Tim Pool, like, at all. I do like how he goes into issues, but he said this perfectly. When those people are saying our democracy is in danger, he's saying their cult's in danger.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? Like, how the hell did we get on the politics, man? Y'all
I
know me,
was
man.
trying to keep the morality. So the question was, Trey, is it moral to have two-party system, or is it better to have an American original system where it was individual politicians, no parties?
No, nope.
No, I asked him what is moral about taxes.
Nothing.
Not a
Like,
single thing.
and then it
But yeah,
went from there, Trey. Okay, I was
Let's let
talking
Trey
about.
take the reins. We were waiting for Kid and
nah,
Trey to
man.
come back.
Oh, kids going. Who else is up here
Yeah,
now?
it's just
Oh,
me
Free
and
Zone going.
Alice.
I just didn't want to keep him by himself talking to himself, so I stayed up here till one of y'all came back.
Okay.
And I was entertaining Alice because she always slips back to politics, talking about Constitution. So I mixed
Well,
morality,
freedom is not
philosophy with
political.
it.
Hey, I'll
Freedom
tell
is
you
not
this real quick. Hey, freaking Clue, man. I hate Atlanta. Like, I'm in like these like $500,000 homes where this place I delivered was at. No damn signal. I'm up in Norcross. Clue.
Where's the satellite at, Trey?
What? Oh yeah.
You're gonna see Trey put a satellite right on top of his truck.
Nah. Y'all caught me trying. Y'all caught me trying to bait SKC into that one earlier. SKC didn't take the bait.
He didn't take it.
No, I was trying to bait him into it, and he didn't take the bait.
Jeez.
He knew where I was going with Genesis chapter 1.
Can I ask
But
you a
He said
question,
he had
Trey?
something to
yeah,
do real quick, so he
So
said
I've been wanting to ask Trey this for a while. So like you
yeah.
brought up earlier how these guys you interrogated. I know you can't talk much about it. I come from a military family. Don't worry, I get OPSEC. So be careful. When these guys were looking you in the eye, you could tell they thought they were right?
Yeah, bro, I lost one, man. I lost one. It's a little fucking Taliban commander, madrasa teacher, Muhammad Alam. I'll never forget. He's the only one I can remember his name. Dude was 5'4", Taliban commander, bro. Freaking madrasa teacher. Bro, his logic, bro, he'd win any gulag debate. He'd make the black manosphere like strap up suicide bombs to themselves, bro. He
No,
was
fuck
good.
that.
Bro, he was so good I rage quit. And I was the boss, man. And like
Good.
my soldiers, they're looking at me. They're looking at me all suspect. I don't lose. You know what I'm saying? When I go in there, like I'm gonna win. So this is how I got him.
Was there like a
He
memorandum
hold
on
on,
what you
hold,
can
hold,
say
hold
on
on.
Afghanistan?
No, 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 no,
Because
no. We're good on this, bro. This is how I got him. He was only 5'4", so like they put him in these little dresses. You know the dresses that like Arabic dudes and Afghanis wear. Those
Baki
long.
Bazi.
Yeah, so and they're red too for the detainees, depending on the level of the detainee. Well, I'm sitting there looking at him, and he's just eating me alive, bro. In his interrogation, my interpreter, he's laughing at me. So I was like, all right, cool. In my head, all I pictured was Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
For fuck's sake.
I go I go to the analyst where they had the color printer at, and I was like, I went in there, I went on my computer, I sent him an email. I was like, hey, dude, print this picture out for me. He's like, what the fuck? I said, dude, just print the picture out, and tune in to interrogation booth 3, whatever booth I was in. I told everybody in there, hey, watch this booth. So everybody stopped what they were doing. They put my booth on the big screen. I got a piece of tape, and I took the picture of Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks, and I put it on the door right next to dude. So I went back in there and I'm hitting him, and he keeps looking at the picture. All of his points, he's forgetting them.
You literally twisted his head with that one, I guess.
Bro, he's looking, I'm hitting him with shit, and I'm rapid fire. I'm not even letting him get an answer off. My interpreter's looking at me like, dude, what are you doing? And finally, he just broke frame. And he's like, in his little in Pashtun, is that supposed to be me?
You literally trolled the freaking commander from that group.
Oh,
That's if man. That's one for the books.
bro, and I was like, no, man, I just put that picture up there. I mean, if you think it looks like you, that's on you, man. I just put the picture there.
Free Zone had a meeting. That's why he dropped out because I read the comments.
Oh, that's what's
Man,
up.
you literally gaslit the guy. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Bro, I didn't just start this shit yesterday, man. But that was fun, man.
So my question is like, these guys really thought what they were doing was okay?
Yeah. Hey, bro, you don't want to know my thoughts on it, man. My thoughts have evolved on us being over there, and I will keep that to myself.
Oh, trust me, I know a lot of Afghan Canadian veterans who are like, I don't even know if we should be there. I hear them say that a lot.
The day I was a contractor, when I looked in the mirror, going back to my hooch, looked in the mirror, and I realized that, God damn it, I'm the patsy. Probably
like,
that look.
Why are we over there? Like, why are we spending so much money on Ukraine? You know what I'm saying? Like,
they want to keep their money laundering baby alive. That's what that is. Ukraine is the money laundering for politicians worldwide.
Hey, Alice, can you read that comment? But not
what language?
No, feminine Alice.
What language they speak? Trey.
We're gonna work on this. I'm doing my best Tate impersonation with Alice. I'm trying to coerce her into her femininity. Some might call this human trafficking. I'm trafficking Alice by working on her femininity.
Here we go. You want me to like?
I could just imagine Trey putting you in a dress and be like, "You need to walk like this, talk like this."
Yeah, Alice, and while you're working them, I'll work the text, and that's how we'll get this money. Now let me stop. But they speak the Taliban. Most of the Taliban do speak Pashtun. They're rudimentary educated. They're from the down south Kandahar region. They speak Pashtun for the most part. In the middle of the country, they speak what is it, Urdu? Oh, was that up north? Urdu or Dari? I can't remember now. But yeah, one speaks Dari, one speaks Urdu. North, Masa Sharif up there, and then like capital region.
Like so I was arguing with this guy because I love military history, right? And this guy was saying, "Oh, we armed them. Now we have to deal with them." I was like, "No, they armed the Northern Alliance. The guys in the south are against them. It's tribal."
Yeah.
He didn't even understand what I'm talking about. I'm like,
but I will say this: the Northern Alliance, yeah. If you want to put it in reference, the Taliban was more like MAGA when it comes to their dedication. Like they were hands down Afghanistan.
Make Afghanistan great again.
Yep. That was the Taliban.
Talk like Catalina. Like I could try, but like,
oh my god,
I'm just country as hell. You can put me in a dress, I'm still gonna go fishing. Okay.
Yeah.
Man,
I would not want to.
There's even
hold on. Alice, we can't work the fishermen if you out there, wanting to fish. You just got to go out there and look cute and just go up to them and talk to them. And see, what you do is this, Alice. You get, you go to different fishing spots and you hit them up. You talk them up real nice. They lonely, and you promise you're gonna be out there the next day and fish with them. And you shoot them your cash app and be like, "Well, I
make me into a bucket girl." You know what a bucket girl is.
I know. You be like, "Well, I need some gear. You got to send me this for this rod." And then boom, you hit them. And then next thing, I need a new lure. I'm using the Tate method, y'all.
You know what? I could see Trey putting Alice on a raft in her best Sunday, beautiful dress, succulent and seductive, and she's like twirling on this raft in the river.
Succulent? Did you just call Alice succulent? Alice, I think Ragnarok's been watching your TikTok, Alice.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I don't watch TikTok. Man.
No, they get lit on TikTok. You know that. Like,
bro, I've seen your comments, Alice. Mandy's fanboys, I think they like you better.
She's a petite cutie who can actually do yard work.
Well, it was weird. She played that video over and over again. I got me a lesbian lover, y'all. I think she's in love with me. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
That's why she put the avatar up. Ain't no telling what she was doing behind that screen.
I haven't seen Mandy around in a while. Kind of happy.
Well, we know
she's annoying.
No, we ain't gonna let you off the hook, Ragnarok. We know what you were doing watching Alice's TikTok.
Oh, God.
Watching Alice's succulent TikTok. What the fuck used the term succulent?
Hey, look, I'm a poet. Leave me alone.
Hey, you know, if you're talking about...
I don't want to be the 15th wife, okay?
Yeah. If you're talking about cactuses, okay, cool, we can rock with that. But
succulent cactus.
Well, I'm gonna get off here. Y'all can have it. Let me come up here for a little while.
Hey, Alice, hold up, Alice, before you go, promise me you're not going to wait 6 months and then go to Vice and say, Trader MBD tried to sex traffic you on the fishing pier.
Man, I know we just cutting up, okay? So a lot of this stuff, like, as long as I've been coming over here, I know that you're just cutting up, man. I don't take it to heart.
Alice, if you go to Vice, they better call it the Fisherman Wives' Tale.
If anything, I'll go to them and tell them you're just I'll be one of your helpers, I guess. What Tate had some other girls that spoke up for him.
Yeah, but I will
need to quit with that bullshit.
Yeah, but I will. I want to thank you, Alice, for coming up, and I do apologize for my crassness. And thank you for coming through.
Oh, all right. You have a good day.
Peace out.
Bye,
man, Rag.
So there's a topic I wanted to talk to you about since you're a veteran. Like, I've studied so many different wars and conflicts between societies and whatnot. Like, I'm a military history buff, right? I find every side thinks they're the good guy. They always do. Every side.
Yeah, bro, and that's, oh man, and that's where you know what? That's the reason I stopped being a military historian.
It's confusing, and I know some people say history is written by the victors, but there's actually a lot of cases where the losers became historians as well.
I'd say the losers, if we're talking World War II, and if we're just going by the book, I'd say the losers wrote the story. The losers created NASA. The losers created, most of our military technology.
Well, like, dude, it's publicly known that those guys in Germany, I'm not going to say the word for algorithm reasons.
Let's just say the losers
were funded by American rich families.
Yeah, well, the losers created Big Pharma.
Of course they did. You know what pharma means in Greek? It means death.
Yeah. The losers, created Volkswagen. And every, subsidiary of that.
I got to say Audis are nice cars.
Yeah, the losers partnered with Chrysler. Now, what is it, Dahmer Chrysler? Dahmer, Mercedes-Benz? Come on,
what's that other Coca-Cola? Like, it's not Coke or Pepsi, it's the German one.
Oh, I don't know. I just know Coke over there.
Well, like, they made their own, like, you can actually find it being sold now in America and Canada. Like,
I don't know.
Because Coca-Cola did, like, an embargo of Germany, so, like, they had no soda, so they made their own soda company.
Oh, I don't know, man. When I lived over there, everybody drank Coke.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it was, and that's where it gets lizardy, bro. The more you start, once you wake up, the lizardy play, you start to see it. The little Europa, stuff comes in. Greatest story never told, and you're like, you know what? Fuck off. I don't want to know. I just want to live my life. And I don't want to know.
Well, so you were posted in Germany and Japan at different points, right?
No, I was a civilian when I lived in Japan.
Okay. So, like, I read in the documentary that Germany is set to be occupied, by the Allies since World War II. They're still occupied up until 2099.
Yeah, but they'll rewrite that because everybody will be dead, bro, and so they can just say whatever.
They won't even know.
Yeah, but remember, Trump tried to bring him home. Trump said, "We don't need to be over there." Man, they fought him. They tried to find Hunter Biden type stuff on Trump because he tried to bring the soldiers home.
Like, I don't agree with everything Trump says, but I do agree with his sentiment. He cares about the little guy.
Yeah, why not bring the soldiers home? There's no war over there. We don't got to worry about the Fulda Gap and the Russians coming barreling over.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if they try to patent him. Like, you know what I mean? What happened with patent?
Yeah. Well, hey, I told you, man. We fought the wrong winners. I'll put it like that.
Anybody in the chat, go look up General Patton's quotes.
Oh, Catalina's in the chat. Hola, ¿cómo está, Catalina? It's been a minute.
Catalina.
Mod. Man, nah, I know Catalina's had some things going on with her fam. But what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah. Ragnarok, man, that is the weirdest thing. I don't know if you were over there in SKC's, not SKC, Hood Conservatives chat. When I said basically,
I was there.
Okay, I changed. Like 2015, I woke up one morning and became a different man, and I started on a path. To like get rid of the nasty black dog. He had to go.
Yeah, like I saw SKC say like feel, and I'm like, I actually commented in the chat. I was like, it sounds like Trey's describing an epiphany that he just wants to center himself with the universe.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing: is because, dude, I don't claim any religion stuff. I just know good and evil, and I said I feel it. That's me, and I go towards good. I shy away from evil. And
Well,
bro,
do you know
the
where?
arguments in the chat, bro. I mean, the chat like
Oh
lost
man.
their mind.
Well, one,
It's
you had a faction in the chat that were like hardline religious, and they're like stoning people to death for cheating, and like we should do this, do that. And I'm replying back to them like, you do know theocratic religions literally exterminated so many other religions. It's like that's the one
yeah,
thing I will never agree with hardline Christians, Muslims, or
nah,
Jews because they will literally fucking kill you if they get the chance. If they take over government, they will. Oh, you're a pagan? You're gonna die, boy. You a heathen, you deserve to burn. Like, I'm like, what?
yeah, man. And it's weird is that okay when you go through, and this is why I was on the side of Tate. It's more spiritual. Just my opinion versus Hood Conservatives. The one. Hey, look, haters. You found a disagreement between me and Hood Conservative. Start the beef. Baller X, clip it. Go ahead, Baller X. You finally there. Go for it. You got it. But
That's funny.
hey, Ragnarok. Okay, but I look at it like this, man. With Tate and Peterson, Tate has lived that life, man. He's seen 304 shit, like up front, up close and personal, and he's seen, what that life do. Jordan Peterson hasn't, and I argued from this perspective. And you know the horrors of what 304 life could be about Ragnarok. When you
Oh,
see that
fuck it.
stuff, you change as a man. As you get older and as you're trying to make this spiritual journey onto being a better man, no, bro, that's it. It's foul.
Dude, I had to deal with quite a few 304s. Like, seriously.
Yeah, and
Back in the
because
day.
yeah, and I saw Angel Martin. I don't get Angel Martin, man. Angel Martin's the homie, but you're weird, Angel Martin. It's like you support pimping. Okay, first it was webcamming, then it was e-pimping, now it's just straight up pimping. That sounds lefty, where you just change the definition.
Yeah. Well, like
I don't.
Angel Martin is like so religious, yet is against other religions, but is like wants to be rudimentary. But then the fallacy comes in. It's like, oh, you're not holding to your morals. And I'm like, your morals would literally be to burn people.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't. I'm looking at it like this from Tate's perspective, and like those girls, webcamming and stuff like that. They all became millionaires. The ones that followed his advice to the T. And you know what? They signed on the dotted line. They decided to, cool, all day long. But regardless, and this is where it comes into be, male agency. Men, we can look at each other. All right, was it legal? All right, it was legal. You don't support it because it goes against your morals. Me, I'm like, it's whatever. Those women chose that. So as men, we can agree upon that. But women, no. Those sluts and their e-pimps should be hung up. And the other side is like, no, Andrew Tate should be hung up. Those women don't need an e-pimp. They should have free reign to do whatever they want. It's like, what?
I don't know. Some people.
And I've seen that perspective amongst women, man. Both sides.
It really does get convoluted, man. Look, man. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not a hedonist. Like, dude, I literally got 3 wives and I fucked them to death, like as much as I want. It's like not to
Okay,
death, but you
TMI,
get my
man.
point.
TMI,
Yeah,
bro.
I know,
Come
I know,
on,
I know, I
man.
know. I'm just saying. Like these Puritans are not being honest with themselves. They're not. They're just not. It's like you're telling me you want this, that, and the third. It's like some Puritan religious thing. But then you know what happens? All these Catholic girls in colleges and stuff, we all know what they do. They'll go to
Yeah,
they'll go to a Friday night, have fun, but on Sunday they're at confession booths saying they were in a gangbang. Let's get real.
yeah.
Like,
Hey, bro, you, you're going down a sexual rabbit. I'm telling the hood this morning. Hey, man. You know, I'm fixing to get my pee smacked by Mrs. MBD, bro. If we keep talking about this, okay. 5 minutes later, so the Tennessee cuck. So back to this cuck. Hey, David, come on, man. Nah, back to the cuck.
it's like it's
Nah, I mean,
interesting, man. It's interesting. Like I don't understand how a lot of people will be like like a lot of people claim morality is not subjective, and I'm like that's BS. That's bullshit.
even hedonism, man. I have no issue with hedonism. Like I work in the industry, even though I'm the man I am today, I can't take back where I worked out. You know what I used to do. I mean, shit. Every one of us that likes to do freaky things with our other half, our significant other, enjoys a bit of hedonism from time to time. Unless we're a fucking nun, a monk, we're all into hedonism. So, and
Yeah.
that morality comes in. All right, here, okay, my morals. Let me judge another man's hedonism. I got my own hedonism I like to get into, but no. His hedonism's like, no, that's oh no, morals.
Well,
What?
that's why I look at religion. People take it way too far. I look at religion as just a system of self-control. Like it just inspires you to commit self-control, and there's actually a lot of good fruit that comes from that, right? Like if you
Yeah,
self-control yourself, you don't become a complete freaking hedonist. Like I mean hedonist with no like lines. Like there's a
yeah.
line you don't cross type stuff.
And you set that line for yourself, and
Yeah.
your circle, the people around you. And here's the thing: if you cross it, now you're part of the left. Now you are, you're hey, you're looking like a liberal. But I will say this: how can I judge another based on my past? How can I judge another man's hedonism?
Right.
Which is one of the reasons why I don't have no comment on the Tennessee Cuck. That
I'll
would make me a
be
hypocrite.
right back for 30
Okay,
seconds. I'm just grabbing a beer from the kitchen.
okay. Y'all, if I commented, y'all that follow me know where I used to work at. So if I commented on the Tennessee Cuck, yeah, that's bad. Go to hell, die, burn. Okay, Trader MBD, let's pull up clip on 2021, September 19th, where you said this about your former employer. And then I'm a hypocrite, y'all. So I'm just like, you know what? He without sin, not me. Go ahead and cast that stone at him. And I'll just be like, hey, man, whatever. Hey, good luck. Divorce, stay together. Hey, y'all got some financial issues. Good luck to
Like,
y'all.
yeah. Like you know that rapper Bryson Gray?
Yeah.
So he's been ranting a lot lately. He had this depressive, like super depressing post he did. Like, oh, I thought MAGA was about like making things Christian again. No, like Christian. Like he's like uber Christian. Like he's a theocrat.
Oh
And then
yeah.
like
I met him.
like
Yeah, he's
people
cool. He's
are
yeah.
but people are telling him, look, man, MAGA was more libertarian than the old conservative Christian system. Like conservative Christianism was kind of like the old right. That didn't work. That don't get you votes no more.
Yeah. Because as I was telling David over there about this, how morality has become subjective, is because conservative Christians became cucks. They allowed the other side to chop and screw the Bible.
To be honest, they opened the door. Like, you have a lot of these people complaining that the right is becoming more secular. I'm like, yeah, because the right is beyond these menial issues where religion has to be involved. We have an entire country falling apart. The infrastructure is broken. Like, the social system is destroyed. Like,
Hey, shout out to the original Boys in the Hood. I'm passing by Stone Mountain, y'all. Shout out to the original Boys in the Hood.
you were in Canada yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Where
Now
were
I'm in
you?
Atlanta. Oh, I was in like, what the fuck was I, man? Up in Alliston. Then I was down in Vaughn. No, was I in? Is it Brandon or wherever the fuck I was at? It was with a B
Brampton?
outside. Nah, not Brampton. It was near Vaughn.
Which
I thought it
province?
was Ontario. Yeah, I was right there
Oh,
in the
okay.
suburbs of Toronto. And then I was over in Windsor.
Yeah,
Back there, back
I'm not too familiar with Toronto myself. I'm more familiar with the Montreal, Ottawa area.
yeah, ghetto ass Toronto. I'm glad.
Bro,
Or
Toronto's a shithole right now, man. Nobody wants to
yeah,
go there.
but the suburbs are nice, man. My favorite suburb is Kitchener, Cambridge, Waterloo. Beautiful areas.
Kitchener is a nice place, and there's people there.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, I just I can't be looked upon as a hypocrite, man. You know, that's like me going in on you for the three wives thing. Oh, Ragnarok, man, you heathen. Oh, why can't you just get one wife? I want to know
Yeah.
this. Where in the Bible, SKC made the argument. Where in the Bible, no, I think that was David arguing for monogamy. Where in the Bible does it say monogamy?
Actually, there's evidence in the Bible that polygamy was very prevalent.
Oh yeah, I know there in the what monogamy in the form of marriage. I know there's some couple the Bible contradicts itself because there's some verses that say one man for every woman, but there's way more Bible verses that talk about, and we talking the big book, the whole book. Dudes having 5,000 wives, 400 wives,
That's
600 kids.
King Solomon, pretty much.
Yeah, and all these other dudes that were just slawing them like Platinum Elite, fixing the bus up in biblical times.
It's some wild shit, man.
Yeah, and that's why, man. I don't condemn another man's lifestyle. I just like, hey, man, do you?
Yeah, if everybody's a
Hey, man, as
consenting
long as you're
adult,
not
whatever.
infringing upon me and mine, yeah, don't infringe upon me.
If
I'm not going to
everybody's
judge
consenting,
you. Like, yeah, don't involve kids.
dude, I'm not even
Don't infringe on
crass.
anybody else.
I'm not even crass on like the LGBT community, man. So long as it's not involving kids, do you? Bye. Have fun.
Yeah, I was
Tell me
cool
about
with
it.
him till
Just
you
don't
want to
tell
have.
me about it.
Yeah, I was cool till you want to have drag shows in elementary schools.
Yeah,
Hey, now it's time to get
a
the wood
lot
chipper.
of these lefties. Yeah, a lot of these lefties think it's like, oh, they're anti-gay. It's like, no, dude, you're involving kids. Like,
It was like, man, look, I let y'all over there. I got friends that are into that. I went to a couple drag shows to support some friends. Okay, cool. Y'all are over here in your little corner of the universe. When you're in that industry, yeah, you're gonna run into people. Yeah, you're gonna run into people from other industries.
I would clip that. Trey said,
Clip
"Yeah, I've
it.
been to a drag show."
Yeah, I have, man.
It's
No,
all
I
good.
mean,
It's all good.
I almost bought a club, and me and my buddy almost bought a club in Everett, Washington. And we go there every weekend in the process to buy. And like every other Saturday, they held a drag show there. Shit, we're trying to buy this club. The club was popping, man. The money was popping off. And shit, we had to go, man. We gotta, check the layout of the club. But they were in their own little world, man. I'm talking, bro, Seattle lawyers, doctors, get up there on that Saturday, man. They dressing up and they drag. You'd be like, damn, bro. The people that are into the alternate lifestyle, man, and what they do in their real life would blow your fucking mind.
Oh man, you'd be surprised. Like anybody would be. Like unless you're like aware. Like in Canada, we have a culture of raves, right? Like people who come here, they think they rave in Europe, they rave in America, but when they come to Canada, they realize something. Holy fuck, you guys go like over 9,000 load. And like, yeah, we do. You can go to a rave in Canada. You won't find it because they're illegal unless you know who you know. It's all about who you know. And you get there, you got like 5,000 people fucking everywhere. You got like cocaine. You got cocaine everywhere, MDMA everywhere. Like you name it, bro.
Well,
like it's insanity.
you know, it's funny, man. In my old circles, you know, my burner Facebook, they're cracking up laughing about, you know, the Tennessee cop. They know the deal. They know it's swingers gone wrong. Like to that community, it took about a millisecond to realize, yep, swingers gone wrong. Somebody got butt hurt and snitched on the whole freaking shindig.
I could never
That's
get
it.
it.
But I mean, that's it.
I'm a jealous husband, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, bro. That's like it takes. If you've been in that community, it takes like 2 seconds to realize, yep, that's what happened. And you know,
that probably happens a lot. Like,
yeah, but you know, there was a murder, man. Oh God, I think it was in San Antonio or was it Phoenix? There was a, you know, a polyamory lifestyle situation with like 3 couples, and it went south. And like one of the dudes like end up like killing like 4 of the people in like the big group.
he probably killed the men.
No, he killed like, you know, no, it was 4 people. He killed a couple women
Oh,
and a couple dudes. Yeah, it was. Yeah, bro. And the other one was wounded. But
so
you
like,
know, it's
like I would never be caught dead in that situation. Like my wives are mine. There's no other man touching them. Because like it's like I explain this to people who don't understand one man, multiple female polygamy and why I don't let another man get in there is because it's like a lion system. The male lion will beat up another male lion trying to get with his multiple females, right?
Well,
Like,
you know the real reason, right, bro? There's a main reason for that. Why one man, multiple women? Shit, it's always, you know, it's always been the norm. Whether you agree with it or not, there's one main reason. Is that as a man, you want to know if the kids are really yours or not.
That's the truth.
If it's one woman, multiple men, man, who the fuck do those kids belong to?
Like, do you know why men have an urge to be there when she's like giving birth? It's because they want to see the baby. It's an instinct inside. Does the baby look like me? Like,
hey, Ragnarok, man, can you hold it down for a couple minutes, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna shut down, but you know, I like limped over here to like this service shop, and I got to empty this van out because I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. But yeah, it's about to break down on me.
We might as well just cut. We could just cut down the stream and like talk later.
No, yeah, you go ahead and run it, bro. Run it for a couple minutes, then I'm gonna come back and shut it down.
All
right, so I'll be back, y'all. Ragnarok got it.
Yeah, no, I think some level of hedonism is okay, to be honest. I'm a libertarian at heart, not a hardline conservative. Like, yeah, I want the family structure to work, this, that, and the third, but look, adult's going to adult. Like, it's going to happen. Like, I think the biggest issues is Puritans will have a set of morality that's different from people who want to be hedonistic, but like with boundaries, they're not like completely far gone. It's like, it's gonna happen. There's an entire industry around this, man. Like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, you know, type shit. Like, you can't tell me a bunch of married couples didn't go to Vegas and did some hardcore stuff. Like, didn't. I mean, like, they obviously did. It's just, people want to hold up this veneer that they're better than others over on morals. Like me, I'm not a good man. I am not. I'm just principled. That's about it. I'm a hedonist. Like, shit you not. Some of you people knew what I do at raves with other people. Woo! Wild stuff. It was back when I was a little younger. Raves back from 2010, 2015. Were all the rage in Canada. Probably still are. Like, I don't know. One thing I really don't like is like theocrats who kind of want to make everything super religious again. And they don't even realize, like, some people want to say the West is Judeo-Christian. I'm like, no, it's not. It's pagan. It's always been pagan. Doesn't matter what mask you put on it. It's always been a place where there's a group of people who's free, who work to make bloody decisions together. Like a king doesn't just make decisions; he talks to his nobles and stuff. If he pisses off his nobles, the nobles are gonna rise up. That's what it is. Look at England and the civil war in England. You had nobles who were sick and tired of King Charles II taxing them to death when they were already paying so many taxes because King Richard the Lionheart, the previous king, did all those crusades in the Palestine region. Like people get pissed, man. And like back in the Middle Ages, man, what would be considered pure now would be considered hedonistic. So people want to be like morality is not subjective. It is. You're taught morality at a young age. By like if I was born in a Middle Eastern country, I would be taught that I have to follow the Sharia. You know, their holy religious laws. You know, they don't have a concept of separation of religion and government. No, religion is government over there. So if I was born in India, I would hope I'm born in the upper caste, not the lower caste, because they have a tier system. The super poor class, the middle class, and then the super rich class. Like literally, you cannot date somebody outside your class. Nothing. Uh, Trust me, you would want to be born in the higher class. But if I was born in the lower class, I'd probably be shifting through shit by the riverbank, looking for food or fish. Like that's your moral. You don't care if it was in the trash. It's kind of sad. You have like, and if you look at China, China has Confucianism, which a key tenet to that is to see the bureaucracy as God. So they literally view a gigantic government as like the divine system. They really do. Then they think that's moral. And back in the West over here, we think, less government, more freedoms is moral. But like you'll have other cultures think that's fucking insane. So like there will never be a worldwide united humanity that all agrees on one thing is good and one thing is bad. It'll never happen. You will never have like all 9 billion of us claim that one thing's good or one thing's bad. It just won't happen. Good luck. Like the only way you could do that is if you're like Genghis Khan, you take over the whole world, and then like enforce that belief on people. That's actually how most cultures are made. Like Europe used to be a bunch of pagan tribes, man. And no, they weren't savages as much as they wanted to think. They had roads, they had sewage systems, not like we do, but they had systems for it. And Romans would just paint them as their savages. Blah. That old Pocahontas song, savages. Da, 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 da. It's like everybody thinks they're the good guy. Humanity is ruthless, cruel, and hedonistic to a T. Just what it is. All you can really do is teach your own kids, your own family, what's right or wrong. That's about it. That gut feeling you get in your stomach when you feel like something's really bad and evil, it's instinct. Like if there's a threat to you, you're gonna get a gut instinct. Then the threat comes, and you're like, "Oh shit!" React. That's really what it is. And like, I really like movies that mess around with the concept of morality. Like the good guys are all like looking beautiful, looking good, nice, and Gucci. If you want to use that term. And the bad guys, like they're actually the bad guys that look good, that look like they're the good guys. The good guys are like ragtag dogs and stuff. It's all upside down. And then you look at a different movie, it's like, oh, okay, you got these guys are the good guys, those guys are the bad guys. Clearly tell, like Lord of the Rings or something. It's not that simple in the real world, though. got people who say, "Oh, they're of a different religion than the bad guy. Oh, he's a pagan, kill him. Oh, he's a Muslim, kill him. Oh, he's a Christian, kill him." Like humanity's most psychotic moments in history is arguments over religion. And the only place in the world that says you shouldn't talk religion at the table, the West. Like, don't talk politics, don't talk religion at the table. It's because the West has learned a lot of lessons from religious wars and political wars, man. Right. Napoleon, 100 Years War, the 30 Years War between Protestants and Catholics. That was a doozy. It's actually why a lot of Protestants and Catholics came to North America. Surprisingly, so like, where is it? Virginia? No, Maryland. Maryland was a majority Catholic state, but Virginia was a majority Protestant state. So kind of like setting that. So the founding fathers were so smart; they set it up right in the middle. So Virgin Mary, literally Maryland, Virginia, Virgin Mary. They're very esoteric about it, and they kind of like united them under God and understood that they literally like freedom of religion is straight up in the Constitution. So the fact that they put the system of government there and right in between those two states, that really says a lot. It's pretty much like a middle finger to Europe. It's like, look, you guys want to kill each other over religion? We're cool. We're Gucci. We're done with you. Like, and I think that was like a lesson of learning from the moral failures of the religious wars back in Europe. That's actually where a lot of Amish came from, because the Amish were also persecuted back in Europe. And like all these different religions, like if you shove them all in one place, it'll be a bloodbath real quick. Good thing there's enough landmass to keep people away from each other. If any of you in the chat knows about Eastern Europe, it was the Austro-Hungarian Empire post World War One broke off into like 10 to 20 different countries. And then you look at 1990, almost 100 years later, literally 80 years later, about the whole like Kosovo situation, this, that, and the third. The Serbs are killing the Croats are killing the Serbs. The European Muslims are trying to like survive and kill the Serbs. It's crazy, man. Like, you had a multicultural society that broke down to different countries who kept wanting to commit genocide on each other, and it took NATO to come in and be like, stop. Wild. So, like, especially in that conflict, the Kosovo conflict, all sides probably thought they were the good guys, but all sides were also committing ethnic cleansings, like en masse. It wasn't even just the soldiers. You'd have like whole communities trying to kill whole other communities. It's like, imagine Manhattan and Brooklyn just decided to completely genocide each other and not stop. Like, literally, just constantly. It's pretty much what they were doing. Nothing moral about it. But both sides thought they were the moral good guy. It's like, they wronged me. No, they wronged me. It's bullshit, man. People need to adapt to understand a higher form of morality is to understand morality is subjective, actually. I shit you not. Because if you understand that, you can actually find like minds of even different cultures. And today, with today's internet, people have a census of what they agree on that's moral. Like taking care of the family, being a good father. That's all seen as moral worldwide. So those are some things you could actually say are successful in being seen as moral goods. But then there's always traditions that of each different culture that they'll butt heads and whatnot. Humanity wasn't meant to unite. And for anybody who's like really Christian in the chat, I find a lot of Christians today are pushing for like this unified world. And in my mind, I'm like, Revelations literally said the Antichrist would try to unify the world with globalism. Well, I don't trust him. I don't trust anybody who wants to unite the world. Like, I'm not some big Bible thumper, but I know Jesus said when he comes back, he's going to say, I come to divide, not to unite. So I actually like a divided world better. Like that everybody can have their patch. Everybody can have their community. Should just come together at a moot point, be like, my patch is your patch. Do business other than that, leave me alone. Imagine looking at this human society we live in and look at it like you're an alien. It's the first time you see humanity. You would think you're looking at a bunch of apes with nukes strapped under their butts. You would think they're stupid. You would think they're retarded. And doing that brain theory, looking at the world as if you're an alien and evaluating humanity from the outside the box, you could actually see a stage forward where humanity stops acting like monkeys with gigantic weapons of mass destruction under their balls. Like, it's like, the issue is, good luck getting everybody to listen to you. I think that's why Reagan said, I don't know, some people don't believe in aliens and whatnot, but Reagan did say this: if an outside force like aliens ever came here, humans would unite really quickly just out of necessity. Good thing, a bad thing, I don't know, because then you'd be giving power to a very small group of people. I don't think that's what people want. Let's look at chat. Ranting and ranting. Some people think the Sphinx was built before the flood. I went down the rabbit hole on that. And yeah, Kumasi, I could make my own channel. I'm just too lazy. I could talk about so much different historical stuff, theories and stuff. But like, and yeah, Kumasi, Maryland used to be the majority Catholic region back during the 13 colonies days, like the founding of America. I don't see a lot of churches helping people, Alice. Like, you want to know who's the top G organization of the entire world? It's the church. They have more money you can imagine. Like they say, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. No, it's the Pope. Nothing happens without their say so. Not a single thing. All right, you have a great day, Alice. And yeah, Bradley Smith, I can only use my own standards to judge the different moralities and traditions of different groups because that's how I was taught, by my own standards and moralities, by my parents, by the culture I live in, the social contract I was born in. You know? Yeah, Francesca, like look at the map. Like DC used to be literally smack dab in between Virginia and Maryland. Like there's a lot of history there. I'd love to visit there one day. Yeah, you two should probably stream it. Go see all the like before you go, look up some historical artifacts in the region and literally map out a stream where you walk around city checking. I've done that in my own city. There's so much history in some cities, man. The older ones, you'd be surprised. Oh, and survival. When you're in DC, look for very very old buildings. See if the concrete in the sidewalk lines up right with the windows, like in the middle of a window. So that's how you'll be able to tell of what's what. Uh, I'll be back in like literally 1 minute. All right, I'm back. My kid needed something. So yeah, like looking at the chat. When I asked the chat, what's examples of two different cultures that have different morals and completely clash? Like, Aztec to Spanish. Aztec thought human sacrifice was okay, good and dandy. Spanish saw that and were like, hell no. Like, that kind of example. Canada and US, yeah. Well, actually, Canada and US are actually really tight. Like they literally go to war together every other day. Like, America goes to war, and America just like looks over its shoulder and like, Canada, are you coming? Canada be like, yeah, I'm coming. But in the Vietnam War, Canada said like, literally, fuck you, we're not going. That's because it was Dummy's dad who was actually in power. The current Dummy in power, his dad, senior Dummy, was the one who said no. Like, we all know why. Like, he let a Cuban dictator cook him. Dude, everybody literally calls him Castro now. It's like, like if you take a picture of young Castro and line it up with Trudeau, wow, it's jaw dropping, man. And like Castro apparently even went to his funeral and was like really sad that day. Trudeau, I mean, he went to Castro's funeral. I'm like, if that's his dad, okay, cool, man, it's his family, but like, why lie to the world about it? I'm like, okay. Like, I'm not trying to smear him either, but like, I know his mom also slept with all the Rolling Stones. Montreal, because Montreal's in Quebec, it's the Bloc Québécois. So it's like you guys have governors for each state. We call them premiers. I do not know his name. I'm not really into Quebec politics because most of the time the Quebec politics, and I do speak French, they're talking about how they just want to leave Canada half the time, but they want to do it with Canada's money. Yeah, not gonna happen. Then again, Scotland is about to run another referendum. Like, Quebec has a referendum to leave Canada every 10 years. Like, that they'll leave
Hey,
eventually.
fellas, man, what is this, man? Francesca's going to be an insurrectionist. Uh oh.
Oh, apparently, her and her hubby are going to DC.
Oh
They're gonna
God.
be checking the sites.
Nice. Oh, man, I see y'all going down the rabbit hole. Well, shoot. Yeah, man, that's about it, man. Oh, freaking Thorn was in the back, man. I don't know if y'all want to keep it going or not, but I got to dip off of here.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. I just caught you on the tail end, Trey. But I didn't realize you was freaking on, man.
Yeah,
Kid,
I mean, if
Kid
y'all,
said he'd be back, but he hasn't come back yet.
oh yeah, Kid ain't back, so yeah, nobody to mod it. I appreciate it. I got to dip out of here.
Yo, you breaking
figure out
up
what
like
I'm gonna do stuff here in
like a
Atlanta.
black family, man.
Why'd you join the Borg?
Oh god, Atlanta, man.
Yeah, it's that Southern Wi-Fi. You need to get that good, it's good up north Wi-Fi.
Man, I've been trying to start up this computer
Yo,
game, this board game.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah,
You're still breaking up like a black
Testing.
family, man.
it's a little better now.
Okay. All right. I'm ending it, y'all. If y'all caught
Cool.
that Borg. End of stream. Thank you, everyone.
Yep.